I've seen so many people jump on a budget red light pad because the price looks good, only to discover after a week or two that the LEDs barely reach the skin and the blanket feels more like a flimsy towel than a therapeutic tool. That regret spending a few extra bucks only to get a half-working gimmick makes the decision to try a full-body mat feel a little scary. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So the question is whether the Mycelive Red Light Therapy mat actually earns that extra cash and gives you something that cheap knockoffs can't. When I first heard about this kind of mat, the biggest hesitation was the promise of medical-grade treatment at home. Red light therapy can be powerful, but it's also easy to overpromise and underdeliver. I wanted to know if the design would hold up in a real gym bag, if the light would actually reach deep muscles after a tough leg day, and whether the blanket would be comfortable enough to lay on while I drifted to sleep. The risk of buying the wrong thing is not just money, it's the time you waste setting up a device that never helps your soreness or sleep, and the frustration of having to return it. What sets this mat apart, at least on paper, is the combination of a detachable wraparound layout and a dense field of 2,625 LEDs that operate on both 660 nanometers, the red spectrum, and 850 nanometers, near-infrared. The dual-wave approach is something I've seen in clinic-level equipment, where the red light stimulates surface tissue and the near-infrared penetrates a few centimeters deeper. The mat's size, about 72 by 33 inches, means you can lie down fully, cover both legs and your torso, and still have the upper section detachable for targeted shoulder or neck work. The surface is made from a Sweatproof TPU coating, which feels more like a yoga mat than a fabric blanket. It won't get soggy if you use it right after a hot shower or a sweaty HIIT session. Let's walk through a typical use case. I'm a regular runner who does a long-distance session 3 times a week, followed by a short strength circuit. After the run, my calves and hamstrings are tight, and the usual foam roller only gives me temporary relief. I unroll the Mycelive mat on the floor, plug it into a standard wall outlet, and select one of the Smart Pulse programs that gradually ramps the intensity up and down. The mat's LED field blankets my lower body, and the heat that comes from the light is subtle, more of a comforting warmth than a sauna effect. After about 10 minutes, I notice the usual post-run tightness easing, and the muscle soreness I normally feel the next morning is noticeably milder. I've tried other cheap mats that claim 600 or 1,200 LEDs, and the difference is clear. Those pads either leave large dark spots where the light doesn't reach or feel hot only in a few isolated zones. Here, the density of LEDs gives a fairly uniform glow across the whole surface, which translates to more consistent muscle relaxation. Nighttime use is another scenario that the mat seems built for. The wraparound design allows you to lie on your back, pull the upper section up over your chest, and set it to a low-intensity sleep mode. The light is dim enough not to disturb a partner, but the near-infrared still works on deeper tissues, which some studies suggest can improve circulation and help the body transition into restorative sleep. I tried it for a week before bed, and while I can't claim a miracle cure for insomnia, I did notice I fell asleep a few minutes faster and woke up feeling less stiff, especially in my shoulders after a day of desk work. Who should consider buying this? If you're an athlete, whether you lift, run, bike, or do high-intensity interval training, who needs a convenient way to manage muscle soreness without scheduling a therapist, this mat offers a level of coverage that most portable devices simply can't match. It also makes sense for people who struggle with sleep and are looking for a non-pharmaceutical way to calm the nervous system before bed. The detachable upper section is handy for anyone with chronic neck or upper back tension, because you can target those areas without having to lay the whole mat flat. On the flip side, if you're looking for a compact, travel-ready device, this might not be the best fit. At 72 inches long, it's sizable enough to require a dedicated storage space, and you'll need a nearby power outlet for each session. People with very limited budget might find the price a stretch, especially when cheaper mats exist that claim red light, but lack the dual-wave LEDs and the high density that actually makes a therapeutic difference. Also, if you have a medical condition that requires a prescription-only therapy like severe arthritis or a recent surgery, this mat should be considered a supplemental tool rather than a replacement for professional treatment. There are a few practical trade-offs worth mentioning. The Sweatproof TPU Surface does a great job of staying dry, but